In the headlines, floodwater displaces over 500 people in Adamawa. Hazy weather unsettles Maiduguri residents as flight cancellation looms. Governor Lawal assures university community of rescue of remaining abducted female students. On the foreign scene, Kenyan schoolgirls hit by mysterious illness as 90 are hospitalized. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We start in Adamawa as floodwaters have displaced over 500 persons at Ungwantana community in Yolo North local government area of the state. Those affected have sought refuge at government secondary school in Limawa, Jimeta metropolis of Yolo North. According to Musa Hassan Jada, the principal of the school, 7 classrooms have been taken over by displaced individuals. The Adamawa State Deputy Governor Kaletapua Farauta has visited the affected community to assess the situation and promised government's intervention to cushion the impact of the devastation. The flood was caused by an overflow of River Benue due to heavy rainfall in the area and the release of water from Cameroon's Lado Dam. To Borno State now, where weather conditions in the capital, Maiduguri, have continued to deteriorate over the past couple of days, with dust taking over the atmosphere, lowering visibility across the capital. The dusty atmosphere is causing health hazards for residents of Maiduguri, as experts say the situation is likely to deteriorate further in the coming days. Bitrus Kurisi tells us more.
It is the second day Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno, is experiencing hazy weather. The dusty weather has not only affected visibility among drivers within the metropolis, but has also forced some residents to wear face masks. Although the month of October still falls under the rainy season, some residents, however, describe the change of weather as strange.
Yearly,
this kind of weather is usually experienced during December or January period. But honestly, this one is different because it is coming now. We are worried because sometimes it even comes with cold, malaria and typhoid and can cause catarrh too. All the years I've spent in Maiduguri, I've never seen it happen at this period, and it affects me. That's why I wear a face mask. I have catarrh and I don't want it to get worse. It was raining, then suddenly the hazy weather appeared. I am not surprised to hear people say it will cause diseases and stop people from going out. But people must go out because to search for their daily bread.
No, in Maiduguri, even if it's raining here, you still see there is sun here in Maiduguri, so it's not something I'm surprised of.
Experts have advised that residents remain indoor or wear face masks to protect themselves from any health implications that may arise because of the weather.
Conditions like asthma, bronchitis and other respiratory problems, you will not find it easy. You will not be friendly with them. If you have respiratory problem and you take cold drinks, it irritates more and it worsens the respiratory system. So we advise them to take warm water. Okay, let them take warm water, and also let the environment they are staying be a bit warm. If it is possible, if they can avoid using things like air conditioners, it could also be good. And fan, if they are going to use ceiling fan, let them reduce the speed.
It remains to be seen if the weather will continue to be hazy in the coming days or the rain will wash it off. Bitrus Kurisi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Well, in a related development, air travel in Nigeria may experience massive flight disruptions and cancellations across northern states in the country over the next few days following deteriorating visibility in the region due to dust. The Nigeria Meteorological Agency is alerting the public on the possibility of deterioration in visibility in some northern states as a result of observed dust haze propagated into the country from the source region. NAME's General Manager, Public Affairs, Muntari Ibrahim, in a statement said stations in the source region from Charts, Fire, Lajeo, Bolberem, Mongo, Abeche and Jamina areas have been reporting horizontal visibility between 800 and 4,000 meters. Other sources from Niger that share borders with northern Nigeria include Difa, Main Soroa, Gaure, Bila, Maradi, Zindar and Birnin Koni have been reporting dust haze and poor visibility between 1,000 and 3,000 meters over the last 24 hours. According to the agency, there are prospects of dust haze in moderate to poor horizontal visibility over the northern parts of the country, especially over Katsina, Kano, Nguru, Jigawa, Potiskum and Maiduguri in Borno State. NAMED therefore advises members of the public to take necessary precautions due to dust particles presently in suspension over the atmosphere. Let's get some expert analysis on this development. Joining me now via phone is Ruben Tor, who is an environmentalist and he's joined us from Yola in Adamawa State. Mr. Ruben, thank you very much for joining us on the news update. First of all, is this unusual given the timing of it? Because for most people, the Harmattan doesn't usually set in until late November. What do you make of this development?
Okay, thank you very much. My pleasure. Hello, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so the question is this unusual given the timing of this dust blowing into northern parts of Nigeria, especially in parts like Borno State, for instance, where the dust is very thick and you have residents complaining that this is rather unusual. Is the timing unusual because Harmattan doesn't usually set in until about second or third week of November?
Okay, yes, the timing is it's not unusual, given to the fact that the current climate model indicators. Are you with me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, current model climate model indicators have already given this prediction that we experience this fluctuation. And you know, over the years, there have always been this clamor that this is going to have a negative impact on the water cycle in the world. And it is that negative impact we are seeing because it is gradually having an impact on, we seem to have this, because the climate change, one thing it does, that a lot of people just assume that it's just about temperature. It goes beyond temperature.
Right.
Because we see that the increase in temperature is having an impact on increase in evaporation. And so because there's an increase in evaporation, you notice that there seems to be certain frequency in thunderstorms around the world. So by that, you see the areas that are experiencing this frequency in thunderstorms seem to experience high amounts of rainfall. So cases we see such in monsoon Asia, countries like Bangladesh and India, we've seen this increase in flooding, rising in flooding. Most residential areas are flooded. But being that as it may, you also see that this also is going to have a negative impact on areas that are not experiencing flooding. We have this dryness, which is referred to as drought.
Right.
So this has affected it has had a very negative impact on the pattern of rainfall. We have seen this erratic change in the earlier months. We used to experience rainfall late April, and then it terminates ending of November, thereabout, before we have this northeast trade wind coming in. But suddenly we notice that the rains seem to have this erratic change. There are months that are not supposed to have this high increase in rainfall, and they're having it.
Right.
So suddenly the rains will just come at a particular time, yes.
Yeah, for most people, they want to know whether there's a correlation between this extreme weather condition, where on one hand you have the flooding, on the other hand you have this dusty weather sweeping across parts of northern Nigeria from the Sahara. Give me a sense whether there is a correlation between these extreme weather conditions and climate change.
Yes, there is a correlation, because the climate change, what it does is that there are certain areas in the world that are going to have excessive rainfall. So certain areas that are wet may become wetter. Then dry areas may become drier. So the northeast trade wind that enters the Maiduguri, as you said, that is the wind that triggers the dry season in Nigeria. Northeast trade wind. So this is journeying from the northeast. So the northeast happens to be one of the driest parts of this country, which is certain. So that recently noticed that the Sahara itself is becoming even more drier. So because of this erratic nature in the rainfall, we see that there is this push, because the wind that brings in the rainfall is the southeast trade wind that starts its journey from the Gulf of Guinea. So we noticed that of recent the northeast trade wind it pushes in earlier, because the climate change has had its own toll, so that the northeast trade wind comes in before it pushes away even the humid wind before it even sets in. So you notice that this is October, and then suddenly you notice that everywhere is becoming dry.
Right. Okay. Mr. Reuben Tor, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it here for now. As you did say, we have to get used to this new normal due to the extreme weather condition that we're seeing, this new pattern that is changing the timeline for the climate and indeed for weather conditions.
Indicators are already, people have been talking about it, the indicators are already here with us.
Right.
We just hope things get better.
Okay. Reuben Tor, environmentalist, thank you very much for joining the conversation, and really appreciate your expert analysis. Right, let's move on to some of the day's other news now. And in Zamfara State, Governor Dauda Lawal has assured students of the Federal University Gusau that security agencies are doing their best to rescue the remaining abducted female students. He also said the government will ensure that there is adequate security in the university to make it safer for learning. The governor gave the assurance during an assessment visit to the university and its environment following the abduction of female students at Sabon Gida.
The abduction of the female students of Federal University in Gusau at their off-campus hostels at Sabon Gida community and some construction workers has remained an issue of concern not only to residents of the troubled community but to parents of the affected students. Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State was not in town when the ugly incident happened, but as soon as he returned to the state, he visited the Federal University Gusau with his deputy and Speaker of the State Assembly to assess the situation and received briefs from the university management with a view to strengthening the security in the university. Governor Lawal, who also addressed the students, enjoined them to be strong and not allow the horrible situation to dampen their morale from pursuing their academic endeavors.
It's an unfortunate incident that took place. Every meaningful Nigerian will not be happy with what happened. So we have to continue to engage the parents and consult them as well as ensuring them that we will do our best to make sure we rescue the students.
The students seized the opportunity to call on the federal government to effect a downward review of the school fees to enable them afford university education, especially with the current economic situation in the country.
Staying in Zamfara, Governor Dauda Lawal on Wednesday inaugurated the steering committee of the Community Protection Guard in the state. A statement by the governor's spokesperson Suleiman Idris noted that Lawal conducted the swearing-in while presiding over the State Security Council meeting. The meeting, convened at the council chambers of the government house in Gusau, was attended by heads of the state security agencies. He added that the council deliberated on various strategies to tackle the disturbing case of banditry, kidnapping, and other criminal activities across Zamfara state. The heads of security agencies also reviewed the progress made so far in implementing various and previous security measures and made recommendations for further improvements. The Nigerian Senate has launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incarceration of over 200 Nigerians in Ethiopian prison. This followed a motion by the Senate Minority Leader Simon Nwagdong on the plenary on Wednesday. A report making the rounds on social media indicates that over 250 Nigerians are facing inhumanity and maltreatment in Ethiopia without any wrongdoing. The report called on the Nigerian government to intervene in the illegal incarceration of its citizens. Nwagdong, while presenting his motion during plenary, said the reported incarceration of Nigerians was disturbing because it had no legal basis in the provision of international courts with which Nigeria and Ethiopia are signatories to. The minority leader urges the Senate to immediately intervene and conduct a thorough investigation into the reasons for the incarceration of the 250 Nigerians currently in an Ethiopian maximum prison. The Senate thereafter directed its committees on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs to investigate the issue and report their findings within 2 weeks. Sending the National Assembly, the House of Representatives on Wednesday says it will ensure the late Afrobeat star Mohbad receives proper compensation and royalties from his music. The chairman of the House Committee on Justice, Olumide Oshoba, gave the assurance during an interactive session with the Nigeria Copyright Commission on the rights and royalties related to the late singer. Now, this followed a motion of urgent public importance earlier moved by Representative Babajimi, which moved to secure the royalties of Mohbad's songs. Oshoba emphasized the significance of securing compensation and royalties, acknowledging that these payments are essential sources of income for musicians. He says such will enable artists to sustain their careers, create new music, and build a future within the industry. He, however, says the current system often falls short in adequately protecting and providing for young musicians concerning their royalty rights. Well, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we'll tell you about the young Kaduna teenage skater who is pursuing her sporting dreams. More on this and many other stories coming up ahead after the break.
The existence of tap-borne or potable water within the Federal Capital Territory has become somewhat of a myth.
When we see water, it just be like a goal where you just go and find out. You manage it to bath at times. You look this one don't bath, or the other one never bath. Just manage it like that.
Chicken garumu nan, agafra junction ba mu da ainihin ruwa a ce na magari kenan. Ko ba haka ba, wannan shi muna samu ya lalace. Wannan kuma na community kenan, wannan da kaga shi nan, da ka duba garuruwa duka akwai irin shi.
For domestic water supply for your home, your bowl must be minimum of 15 to 30 meters away from your sockaway. And it's not in every district they have central sewer system. The district where they have the central sewer system, some of these sewer systems are blocked. Some of them are even feeding the boreholes, the aquifers. Some of them are getting to the aquifers because when they are blocked, they begin to percolate, they begin to sink, and it begins to mix with water from maybe the surface water, becomes more polluted.
We are reviewing the water master plan because these areas were not part of the initial water master plan.
Welcome back to the news, and thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a quick reminder of our top stories at this hour. Flood displaces 563 persons in Adamawa. Hazy weather unsettles Maiduguri residents as flight cancellation looms. Now, the Osun State government has been charged to expedite action towards granting a 6-month maternity leave to nursing mothers who are civil servants in the state to enable them practice exclusive breastfeeding. Experts say this would assist in tackling the worsening malnutrition challenges in Nigeria and boost the upbringing of well-nourished, healthy and intelligent children. Hamid Oyegbade sent this report.
Among the southwest states, including Ekiti, Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Ondo, only Osun is yet to approve the 6-month maternity leave for nursing mothers working with government. The World Health Organization recommended 6-month maternity leave for nursing mothers as one of the strategies to tackle malnutrition through exclusive breastfeeding. Osun State government currently allows nursing mothers to spend only 3 months on maternity leave. They are now advocating for the 6-month period.
If the 6-month maternity leave is granted in Osun State, it will bring about the good bond between the child and the mother. The mother will have enough time to breastfeed and as well create a kind of cordial relationship between mother and child.
6 months maternity leave, I think, is okay for every breastfeeding woman because there won't be any room for milk, for other supplements like milk, water, concoction, and so on given to babies at the crèche. So the mother will be at home with the baby.
I think if the 6-month maternity leave is granted to working mothers in Osun State, especially civil servants in the states, is going to be of great benefit to both the child and the mother. The mother would have enough time, to take care of the baby.
The wife of the governor, Titilola Adeleke, is championing the advocacy for the 6-month maternity leave for nursing mothers in the state.
Actually, we want the mothers, the breastfeeding mothers, to breastfeed their children for 6 months without any other, even water, no agbo, no any other, just straight on, so that it will enable the children grow healthy.
The permanent secretary, Osun State Ministry of Health, Isiaka Adekunle, said the state governor, Ademola Adeleke, will give assent once the State House of Assembly passes the bill into law.
The bill is ready. What remains now is for Mr. Governor, to transfer the bill to the State House of Assembly, and then the process of the State House of all the readings and then public hearing before finally the governor will now assent to it, and it will become law.
Stakeholders are appealing to the state government to expedite actions on the process and ensure that the bill is passed into law and assented to without delay. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Now, Asia Sani is a 19-year-old skater based in Kaduna who is nursing the dream of one day becoming a world skating champion. Asia is defining stereotypes of girls in sports to pursue her interest in skating, which is increasingly becoming popular among young Nigerians. Trust TV's Bello Musa caught up with Asia, honing her talents at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna.
Women are beginning to venture into several sporting activities in the north. However, only a few, like Asia Sani, opted for skating.
People
ask me why I participate in men's activities, but I love skating even though I'm in the midst of boys. But that doesn't discourage me. I know most women are afraid of the game. They say it's risky, but I'm not afraid at all.
Sani, who lost her father is now under her mother's care and support.
Gaskiya mama na tana sai mun kaya saboda me ta goya mun baya akan yin haka. Na samu goyin baya daga wajenta. Ta mun komai.
I am enjoying my mother's support. She buys skating kits for me and I buy too.
Sani's ambition is to rise to the top in the world of skating.
I follow the instructions of my coach because I want to become a professional skater in the future.
Besides excelling in skating, Sani wants to acquire education, help her pursue her dream. Bello Musa, Cross TV News Kaduna.
Right, let's take a look at developments on the international scene now. Kenyan health authorities are probing a mysterious illness that has afflicted over 90 schoolgirls, leading to their hospitalization. The students attending Eregi Girls High School in the western region of Kenya have reported difficulty walking and symptoms of knee pain. A senior official from the Ministry of Education who visited the school assured concerned parents that the situation is being managed, adding that regular classes would continue for other students. Samples of blood, urine and stool have been from the school's affected students have been sent to laboratories in the nearby city of Kisumu and the capital Nairobi, adding that the conclusive results to identify the cause of the illness are anticipated later on Thursday. In sports, Britain's Andy Murray suffered another early exit in the Chinese hardcourt swing after losing to Roman Safiullin in the Shanghai Masters first round. Former world number one Andy Murray was beaten 6-3, 6-2 in a dominant display from Chengdu finalist Safiullin. The Russian secured early breaks in each set, with 36-year-old Andy Murray becoming increasingly frustrated. It is Murray's second consecutive first-round defeat after losing at the China Open last week. Murray, who is ranked 40th in the world, lost to Australia's Alex de Minaur in Beijing, and in the previous week was knocked out in the second round of the Zhuhai Championships by Russia's Aslan Karatsev. In Beijing, Italy's Yannick Sinner won the ATP title at the China Open by ending his losing run against Russia's Daniil Medvedev. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. We'll be back a little later at 2 for more. Follow us across our social media platform to catch up with our content and visit trusttv.com for the latest news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.